For this next exercise, we are going to implement a simple calculator for operation calculator. Okay, so again, as always, I'm starting with my GFX template class. Okay, I'm going to save it with a new name, SimpleCalculator. All right, and now I'm going to get started modifying it. So what I want to do is I want to have actually a few text fields, okay, and a few labels that just say, okay, this is a text field for number 1, this is a text field for number 2, this is a text field for the result, so a label, a text field, a label, a text field, okay. And I'm going to put that into a flow pane. Why not? So I'm going to create here a new flow pane. I'm going to keep the name pane, why not? Create the new flow pane here, and I'm going to say that I need from layout JavaFX scene.layout a flow pane. Okay, so I'm going to put all of my text fields and my labels in there. So that means that at the end here I'm going to have a pane.add all, okay, and a bunch of things here. So how am I going to create those? Well, let's see. I'm going to define a text field 1, okay, why not? New text field class. Similarly, I'm going to have a second text field, and these are going to be for the number 1 and 2, and then a third one for the result, okay? So the first two operands are going to be tf1, tf2, and then this is going to be tf result. Okay, so let's do some configuration on those text field. So tf1 dot set pref column count. So I want them to display by default, okay, 3 character, so 3 digits worth of number. Okay, let's reorder this, tf2 and tf result. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to actually add tf1, tf2, and tf result to my flow pane. My flow pane is then going to go inside my my scene, so we should be good. Last thing I'm going to do a little bit of feng shuiing on the flow pane. Pane.set edge gap 2 to make it a little nicer, the way it's going to show on the screen. Okay, I need a text field, so a text field is a control, so I'm going to add an import statement here. Import javafx dot scene dot control dot text field. All right, let's compile. Cannot find symbol pane add all. Well, yes, because I am again forgetting to get my children nodes, so we're going to fix that right now. There we go. Butterfinger again, sorry about that. All right, compile and then run. Okay, not much to see right now, but I do have a text field here, here, and here. Okay, and they are arranged in a flow pane, so they are horizontal. Now I want to add labels in between. Okay, so I'm going to work on that next. So I could define variables of type label, but I'm not going to do really anything with them. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm just going to create them and just pass them, you know, to my add all method here. So there we go, number 1. Okay, then I'm going to put the text field 1, so I'm going to space this out a bit. Okay, let's see. Yeah, let's go to the next line. Every time we start a new label, so new label, and this is going to be number 2, and then followed by tf2, and then last one, new label, and this one is going to be result, followed by tf result. Okay, and that should be nice. Let's indent, let's compile. So we should have just a better display. Of course, I need to, yes, I need to add my label here. So it's also a control. So I'm going to be lazy and reuse that, or most of that import statement. And I'm going to just say, I want a label. Should do the trick. Compile. All right, so I'm running it right now. Here's what we have, label followed by text field. Still working, still working. Okay, perfect. So what do I need to do next? Well, I'm going to need actually buttons to say that I want to either add or multiply, divide, etc. The two numbers and update the result text field. Okay, so I'm going to take care of that next. I'm going to put those buttons in an H box like I did in one of the previous exercises. Okay, so H box 5, there we go. So which means I'm going to need an H box here. There we go. So create a new H box. I'm going to create my 4 buttons. What else? I'm going to set some alignment to make it look pretty. So I'm going to need again pos, so geometry. And then I'm going to do H box, and this time I'm not going to forget to do my get children, add all, and I'm going to add here all of my buttons. Okay, so let's go back up here real quick to take care of that pos symbol before we're asked to do it. So I'm going to add here JavaFX geometry, JavaFX geometry dot pos. All right. Let's compile. Let's see if we forgot anything. Nope. Well, if I run it, it's not going to do anything new right now. Okay, so we are going to do a little bit more before we test our next milestone. So I need a button here. So I'm going to do 1, make sure it works, and then I will do the 3 over. So we have 1 for addition, 1 for subtraction, multiplication, and division. Okay, so I'm going to call this one button add and label it with add. And then I'm going to pt add, put it in the pane. Okay, now I should have something that I can at least test, in the sense that I can make sure that it's visually displaying. This reminds me that I haven't added the control for button. Fine, fair enough. I'm going to do that here. Button, not control. What am I thinking about? Up, up, up. Okay, it's up here now. Let's run it. And silly me. Yes, I do have a button somewhere, but it's in an H box, and so it's fine. But the H box is not added anywhere, right? So that's not going to do it. So we need to do one more thing before we can actually visualize what we are doing here, what we have done here, sorry. So I'm going to create a border pane, just like we did in one of our previous exercise, BDP, new border pane. So the border pane is going to be used exactly like we did before, okay? Which means that BDP is going to actually contain, first BDP is going to be the pane that we put here, okay? So that's going to be our main pane. I'm going to give it a size that is reasonable based on what we want to do here. I'm going to set some characteristic of our border pane, like set the center, set it inside our pane. Sorry, not set it inside our pane, set actually our pane in the center of the border pane. I'm taking it like the other way around here. I'm going to set at the bottom of our border pane the H box. Okay, so the text field and the labels are going to be on top. The H box with the buttons is going to be below it. So now the H box is finally part of something. And then we are going to do that little function that I was talking about. H box post.top center, which is exactly what we did in one of the previous exercises as well. So let's see if we forgot something here. Yes, we did forget something, of course, the border pane. All right. And we are going to add it here. So with the import, it's going to be able to recognize finally that symbol. What else do we have? POS, 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 POS. POS with a lowercase p is not going to do. So there we go. And then hopefully the last one, cannot find symbol BDP. Set bottom instead of button. I guess that was an hybrid between a bottom and button, but didn't quite work out. All right. Okay, here's what we have. Okay, so we have our add button, we have dimension here that are, it's not looking that great, but I mean, whatever, doesn't matter. And we have here our text field. Everything is set up so that we can start hopefully soon testing the button. So now that we have one button, it's going to be very easy to create the other ones. Okay, so there we go, we need 4 total. I'm going to rename this. We are going to call them button add, sub, multiply, and divide. And we are going to edit the text here, multiply, divide. Let's compile. Okay, it's compiling. Good. That was good news. We are going to add them so that we can actually see them. That would be a nice thing. And that's going to be our last test, you know, just to, on the visuals of it. Then we are going to work on actually getting those buttons to do something for us. Okay, so far so good. Okay, we have our button here. All of them, well, they do absolutely nothing, but at least they are clickable, right? All right, so now we need to activate those buttons. We need to have them do something, and they are going to pretty much manipulate the content of the text fields that we have already in our scene. Okay, so we want to read the content of the text field number 1, number 2, and then we want to update the content of the text field result after we compute some arithmetic operation. Okay, so let's see how we're going to do this. So we are going to attach an event handler to our button add, and again, once we are done with that one, everything else should be just a matter of cut and paste. Okay, so we are going to pass an lambda expression again, so same principle here than before. And now the only difficulty is knowing, you know, how to read things from the text fields and write things to the text fields. So the first thing we can do is tf result.setText. Okay, that's the method that allows you to change the text in a label, and we can do setText, you know, and a quick message here just to test if it's working. Okay, let's see what we have here. BT add, of course, that's not going to do because I forgot the uppercase A. Let's compile again. Let's run. Okay, all right, so we know how to write inside a text. Very good. Now, what we need to write here is a result of an addition, right? So we need to create a string here, and that string, let's say we have a string str here. So we are going to create that string, and then we are going to put it here as a result. Okay, so right now we could just do that. Of course, it's not going to do much for us. So instead, what I want to do is I want to actually read the content of tf1 and convert that into a double value. Okay, so how do I read the content of tf1? Well, you know, set text, get text, the names are kind of like, you know, straightforward, so you could have even guessed it. So I can get here a string that represents the content of tf1, but that's not good enough, okay, because I want to convert that in double. But let's first test that. So I'm going to compile, I'm going to run, and let's say that here I have 1, and if I click add, well, not bad. Okay, so I can read from this. Let's see if I can read from the second one. So I'm going to put a space here, and I'm going to say tf2 get text. okay? And that should allow me to, whenever I have something typed in those two fields, combine it together. But right now I'm just doing like string concatenation, right? So if I have 1 here and 2 here and I say add, yeah, that's not arithmetic, right? That's string concatenation. So now I need to convert this into numbers that I can then apply the plus operator to. So the way I'm going to convert those into numbers is double.parse double. So the parse double method, which is a static method of the double class, is going to take a string and extract, a double from it and return it to us as a double value. So double.parse double, same thing here. We are doing this. Okay. Now, let me get rid of this real quick, because what I want to do is I want to take those two double numbers, right? I want to add them to one another. So that's going to result in actually a double number. And then I want to concatenate that with an empty string, just to force the conversion to a string of text. Okay? Let's try. Let's run. So again, we're going to say, like, for example, 12 plus 7, add 19.0, not bad. Okay, so we extract the strings from the text field. That's the only thing you can get from a text field. Then we convert it, we locate inside of it, what represents a number, convert it to a double, add them. Then we take the double result, convert it into a string, and set it into the text field, because the text field only can be set with a string. Okay, so there's some conversion back and forth there that's going on, but overall it's not that complicated. Okay, once you get through the first example, then that's it. Okay, conversion, to conversion, free conversion actually to and from string, and we are done. So now we can go ahead and repeat this 3 more times, actually total for 4 times. I'm going to reindent because otherwise it's going to drive me nuts. And I'm going to first modify. So whenever you do cut and paste programming like that, it's easy to start modifying one and not do the other. So we're going to try to avoid that. I'm going to do the same operation to the 3 copies. Okay, so first I change the name of the button. Then inside here, I change the operations, the arithmetic operation that I'm performing. Multiply. Oops, too far. There we go. And divide. And of course, here I'm going to try to stay away from division by zeros just for the sake of this exercise. Let's save. Compile, and run. And we should be pretty close to done here. So let's say that I have 12.5, just to make sure doubles are working, and 7.3. Okay. If I add them, 19.8, that looks good. Subtract 5.2, that looks good. Multiply. I'm going to assume that this looks good, and divide, yes, that looks good too. So concretely, jokes apart, you would have to just, take a quick calculator here and double check those things. That's not proper testing. If you don't double check it, actually, it's not testing at all. But for the sake of this video, I'm going to just go fast over this. Okay, so we have our little calculator here, and I guess the next step would be to kind of make it a little bit more aesthetically pleasing, maybe, arrange the numbers and the labels and text field, a little better, maybe with a grid pane. And then similarly, you could have like a keyboard here, a simulated keyboard on the screen with a bunch of buttons for numbers also to allow you to enter stuff. So I'll let you do that as an exercise, I guess. But this is going to be it for this video.